welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up. So how are you all doing? It's been a little while, hasn't it? I haven't uploaded a vlog since the beginning of last week, and to be honest that wasn't intentional, but time's just sort of run away with me a little bit and I've not been too well. I've been struggling for a little while now with tiredness, lethargy, just feeling utterly exhausted, and I've been putting that down to being busy at work and working a lot. And as many of you know, because I've mentioned it previously, I've now gone part-time, which is really lovely, and I'm starting to sort of feel the benefit of that by having a little bit more time away from work and being able to get on with other things. But yeah, this feeling of just utter exhaustion isn't leaving me, unfortunately, and it's ended up where I have been coming home from work early evening and then having a sleep on the sofa for an hour or so, and then going to bed really early and sleeping all night and still getting up the next day feeling tired, etc, etc. So reached a little bit of the head this week, and I've been to the doctors, and they're doing some tests at the minute, so not sure whether I'm just anemic or I could even be perimenopausal, so I don't know, we'll see what the outcome of that is. But yeah, it means that I haven't actually been doing a great deal apart from working and then just trying to chill out on an evening and rest, really. And it's not like me, because I'm used to being extremely active and on the go all the time, and I've not been running. As many of you know, I love my running and I haven't had the energy to do that either, which is really frustrating. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom of what the problem is. I'm really looking at my diet at the minute as well, and my diet's not been fantastic the last few months with working so much, and I'm hoping that I can get back on top of that as well to try and feel a little bit better. So yeah, that's where I'm at, really. And so anyway, I thought today I would come into you to go through my makes for October, which I actually didn't think were as many as I have actually made. I've only actually made 2 things for me, well 4 things for me actually, but only 2 of them are clothes basically, and the other bits and pieces are things that I made for my daughter, which is nice. It's nice to do that sort of selfless sewing, isn't it? So yeah, she really appreciated that for her holiday. She was actually home with us for the whole of last week as well, and we were planning on doing a vlog together and it just didn't happen. So next time hopefully we'll be able to do that. But yeah, I thought today I would show you and share with you my makes that I did manage to get done in October, and yes, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing is, you're probably wondering what I'm wearing, and some of you, especially those of you that were down at the KB sewing retreat with us on the Isle of Wight a couple of weekends ago, will recognise this because I made this dress in October and it was one of my plans. You may remember this fabric from Walton's that I bought, which is my local fabric store, which is about half an hour away from me. This is a gorgeous crepe fabric in these beautiful autumnal colours, and I knew when I bought this that I wanted to have a go again at the Eve dress. So that's exactly what this is, but it's got the longer bishop sleeves, as you can see. Now these sleeves, I actually used the sleeve pattern from Simplicity 8013. I'll put the picture of the pattern up here. I have made that dress as well, and I will insert a couple of pictures of the finished dress into this vlog for you. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'm going to do a separate vlog on a pattern review of that pattern because I want to really talk to you in more detail about that pattern. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that dress in this vlog, but we'll come to that in a little while. So yeah, so I decided I'd made that dress first because I wanted to use that one for the gala dinner at the sewing retreat, and I then set about making the Eve dress as well. And I have altered the Eve dress pattern by lengthening the bodice by my usual 1-inch length adjustment on the bottom hem basically, and also the length of the skirt as well. I usually add a couple of inches to that. So I just followed the pattern pieces that I used last time, and I know that Shan has made loads of these dresses and she has totally altered the pattern a great deal to in respect of how the neckline is finished, and also French seaming it and the yokes on the shoulders as well. I will insert some pictures of my dress, some more close-ups, so you'll be able to see it in a little bit more detail a bit further on in this vlog. But essentially I decided on this occasion just to follow the pattern. I didn't have a lot of time and I wanted to get this done so that I could take it with me and wear, excuse me, and yes, wear it down on the retreat. And the only thing I wanted to change was to add longer sleeves, because I felt that these colours were very, very autumnal and it's not something that I could really get away with in spring and summer. And I didn't think the eve dress with short sleeves in this particular fabric would be something that I would wear at this time of year. So yeah, I just basically pinched the sleeve from the Simplicity 8013 and it fitted the bodice, the shoulder, the arm side, whatever you call it. It fitted it really well on this dress, so I'm really pleased with how that works. Now, the neckline is basically turned under and stitched, and I seem to have a massive issue with wrap bodices, as you can probably see from this, because I'm wearing it with a vest underneath because it is extremely low cut at the front. And the reason for that, well, there's two reasons actually. The first one is I made the size 12 bodice that grades down to the 10 at the waist and then goes out to a 14 at the hip. And I always tend to find that the bodice on wrap dresses tends to gape no matter what I do with it, and I was really conscious with this dress that I didn't want that to happen. So as soon as I cut these pieces out, I stay stitched all the way around the neckline. That was my first error because I used a much smaller stitch length than I should have done when I stay stitched this, so it ended up a little bit puckered. And then when I used some stay tape on the neckline and turned it over and stitched it, it was really puckered, and it ended up where I had to snip into the neckline underneath to be able to try and curve it back out so that it laid nice and flat on the neckline. That didn't work that well, and it meant that I had to double fold the neckline over. So it's meant I've lost a lot of width along the front edge of the bodice, which meant that it's become very, very low cut on me, and so I can't wear it without a vest. But you know, I think it looks fine with a vest. I did try it without a vest, but I was pulling at the front all the time and thought I'm going to have to either put a stitch in it or a little button or whatever, and I just thought I'll not wear it because it'll annoy me. So I just wear it with a little black vest, and I think it works really well. I've done the dipped hem, and I really love that style. I think it's really feminine, and I know that I don't go in for a lot of feminine looking dresses generally, but I do actually really like this, and I love it with these sleeves. I think it really works really well. So, you know, overall I am happy with it. But what I did when I was down at the retreat, Shan, bless her, did bring some of her dresses for me to try on, and she felt, because there is still a lot of looseness around the bodice at the top, so I do think that this dress is actually runs quite large. And I tried on some of her dresses, and the ones that she's perfected, I think she does a size 10 top, and I think she grades down even more on the waist because she's very tiny on the waist. But the ones that I tried on of hers, apart from the length being a little bit too short, actually fitted much better on the top, apart from I didn't have enough in the boobage area because, as you know, I've gained weight a lot over these last few months, and when I'm not running, it all goes on my chest, and I've got quite a full chest at the minute. And so we discovered that I would probably need to do a size 10 top. I'm not a size 10, a UK size 10, nowhere near at the minute, but in this pattern that's what I'll need to do, a size 10 top, but actually do a full bust adjustment on it. Now, I've never ever needed to do a full bust adjustment before because I've never had a full bust, because I've always been a runner, and I'm not planning on staying the size that I'm at the minute. However, you know, I've also got to be realistic and think I don't want to put off making clothes until I get my, you know, weight back under control again and get myself back into running, especially while I'm going through these health issues at the minute that we need to get to the bottom of. So I am going to have a go at doing a full bust adjustment on this pattern, because with it being a wrap bodice, I'm not quite sure how to do it. So if I do have a go at that, I might film a little vlog to see how that works. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, I am pleased with this dress. I do actually quite like it, you know, with the vest underneath. I think it works okay. And yeah, it's lovely with tights and boots. It's nice and flowy and quite loose. So yeah, I will insert a little video or some pictures of the dress a little bit more close up so you can have a look. But yeah, that's my first make for October. Okay, so second make for October, which actually was my first, but it's the second one I'm talking about, if that makes sense, was the Simplicity 8013. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this vlog, I am going to do a separate video where I will go into more detail about this dress and also talk about the pattern and what my thoughts were with respect to this pattern. The dress is beautiful and I absolutely love it, and I will insert a couple of close-up pictures now just of the dress. But you'll see in the you will see in the vlog that I will put up about the actual pattern review that there were a few issues with it in respect to its construction, etc. So a few things that I would change for next time. But the resulting dress is absolutely gorgeous and it's lovely, and it was actually a really easy pattern to put together. Apart from hemming, the hemming took quite a while. But yeah, it's lovely. It's a really lovely dress and I felt amazing in it at the gala dinner. So yeah, but watch out for the separate vlog about that dress specifically. So that was my make number 2 for October. Now, as you know, in the last vlog I made a bag, and here she is, here if you didn't see that vlog. I went down to the sewing retreat on the Isle of Wight that Sian was running and made the Carter by Swoon Patterns, which is this lovely little messenger bag that's got a lovely handle on it and also a shoulder strap as well. And yeah, I really like it. I've been using it a lot already. I'll link below to the specific video where I talk about this in a bit more detail, but I think the only thing that if I would, when I make this again, because I probably will make it again, is I would probably use something to stiffen the fabric a bit more. I think it's just a bit too floppy, but when it's full of things, it's great. So lovely little bag, really pleased with it. It was great to get together with everybody again and make that. And in that separate vlog as well, I also mentioned that I did take another little project with me to do, because as you know, I tend to sew quite quick. And this is the other little project that I did. It was another NCW, which is Necessary Clutch Wallet, for those of you that don't know what NCW stands for. And here it is. So this is, if I come close I can show you. So here she is. This is the first time I've used this rainbow hardware, which is just gorgeous, isn't it? It's really lovely. And I got this fabric from, I think I got it from eBay actually, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but I will put a link to it down below if I can find where I got it from. But yeah, essentially it's just another little Necessary Clutch wallet. I haven't done the wrist strap yet, that's the only thing I've not finished, but if you look inside, it's got gorgeous Tula pink fabric inside as well, and I've put the little ring here ready for just the wrist strap, but I just need to finish that. It's got obviously gorgeous little rainbow rivets in as well, and I've got the card slots in the same fabric. The zipper pockets are done in the Tula pink, and this I didn't even notice when I bought this, but it's got frogs on it. Can you see? How cool is that? Yeah, inside the zipper pockets is just the same fabric as the outside, but I started this on the second day at the sewing retreat and ended up finishing it when I got home. I didn't get a chance to finish it while I was there, and I chose these colours because I thought it would go really nice with my gala dinner dress. Why on earth I thought that I would possibly get this finished in time for the gala dinner was beyond me, because I didn't even get it started for the gala dinner. But anyway, yeah, so I made myself a little NCW, which is the 3rd, 4th or 5th one that I've made now. So yeah, this came together really, really quickly actually, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. The last couple of things that I've made in October were a Ogden cami for my daughter, for her to take on holiday. If you remember, I made a kimono. You can probably hear Marley just barking in the background there. He's in the kitchen while I'm filming in the conservatory at the minute, and he's not happy being there on his own. He can see me, so I will bring him for you to have a little look at him, see how he's grown before the end of the vlog. But yes, I made a kimono for my daughter for her holiday and had some of that fabric left. I'll put a picture of it up here. And yeah, so I made a little Ogden cami with the remnant of that fabric, and unfortunately I haven't got it with me because she took it on holiday with her. She didn't take any pictures of her wearing it, but she said it fits her fine. And yeah, she's back at home now in Leicester, and I haven't got a picture of it, so I can't even show you it, but you've all seen Ogden camis before, I'm sure. So, but yeah, I will put a picture in of the kimono itself because I did a separate vlog of a review of that pattern when I wore it. So yeah, so I'll show you a picture of that up here. And if you remember in September I made a toile, or I can't remember whether I actually showed you, but I was making a toile of the Friday Pattern Company Vanazza two-piece bikini, which I'll put a picture of it up here. And she'd got some fabric, some swimwear fabric from Walton's when we went together, that she wanted me to make the bikini for her, and I used a offcut of lycra that I'd got from there, I think last year, to make a toile of it. And I think I might have shown you it in the last vlog, I can't remember, but this is it here. So that's the top, obviously, and this is the toile fabric, and they were the bottoms. And I didn't have enough of this particular lycra to do the back of the briefs, so I just had some plain black, so I used that. And I took these down when I went down to Leicester for her to try on, and they fit her really well, and she absolutely loves this particular version as well, so she took that on holiday with her and claimed it for herself. And yeah, then I made it out of the other swimwear fabric that she bought, and the only adjustment I did make was I made the waist a little bit smaller for her. When she tried this version on, she said that it fit her absolutely fine, but I did think that the waistband was probably just a little bit loose, because what I tried to explain to her was that when you actually get in the water and start swimming, it might flop around a bit, which you don't want with a bikini, do you? You want it to stick to you. So so this version, the second version that I made, which was actually out of the fabric that she bought, I made with a slightly smaller waist. So this is the version, the proper version, if you like, that she'd chosen for herself. And the only issue I had with this particular fabric was, if you can see, I'll just show you the bottoms. If you can see, there are flowers in every so often on this particular fabric, and I had to be very, very careful with pattern placement, because you don't want those great big flowers on certain areas of your anatomy, shall we say. So I think I got away with it quite well. I will insert some pictures of her wearing it on holiday, wearing both of them actually, and the kimono. I think I've got one of that as well. Yeah, I told her to send me some pictures, and she did, and she looks like she's having a great time, doesn't she? So so yeah, so I'm really, really, really happy with how they came out. I've never made swimwear before, and yeah, it was actually okay. The biggest issue I had was just, you've got to be really careful with the size of the stitch that you use. I sewed most of this with a zigzag stitch on my sewing machine. I didn't do it on the overlocker, and I used, I mean, if I just show you the top in closer detail, I also used my cover stitch machine for the hems. So I don't know if you can see that there. You can probably just see the cover stitching there, and inside it looks like that. I've used power mesh inside as well, and but yeah, inside there, how the elastic is attached, you can just see there, is all zigzag stitched. And what I would say particularly about this particular pattern is that the instructions were fantastic. They were very, very detailed, even down to the suggested stitch size, length and width that you would need, which part you attach the elastic to. So, you know, I can't remember off the top of my head, and I may do a separate vlog on this, but the elastic, I think, is attached so far into the lining from the edge of the seam, etc., etc., and it all comes together so well. And yeah, the level of detail in the instructions was amazing. So it really is fantastic when you've not sewn swimwear before to use a pattern like that. I think that helps you to really understand how they go together, the size of the seam allowances you need, especially when you've got a lining in that you need you don't want it flipping out and all that kind of thing. And it's slightly different to how you obviously would construct, you know, your outerwear, I guess, and your normal garments. But yeah, I can highly recommend this pattern, even down to the instructions, because the instructions are definitely something I'll take with me if I'm going to make some other swimwear. So yeah, really pleased with how they came out. So yeah, that is it really for my makes for October. I know this video is coming really late because we're you know, well into the first week of November already, and it's just taken me ages to get this together. I think the other issue as well is finding decent light in my house during the week, because I'm working, and by the time I get home from work on a night it's dark, and yeah, the lighting's not great when you want to show off your makes, is it? So they're not the best kind of vlogs to film when it's dark evenings here in the UK. But anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed having a look what I have made in October. I'm going to put another vlog up shortly to talk about my makes, for my plans, should I say, for November. And I know we're almost halfway through already, but there's probably 2 or 3 things that I've got planned for November, but they're slightly bigger makes. So watch out for that vlog coming up very soon. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. And yeah, I will be back with you really soon. Take care, guys. Bye.